How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today's job, we have a D8T blade lift cylinder in for a bit of a rebuild. As the name says, the blade lift cylinders lift and lower the blade while the machine is in operation. There are two, they're always worked in pairs. These attach to the nose cone of the machine via a set of yokes, very similar to the ones we repaired a couple of videos ago. Then they're mounted down onto the back of the blade. So the customer's already informed me that there is damage to the chrome on the cylinder rod. So we are going to have to disassemble this, being it is a complete cylinder. So we'll disassemble it. We're going to manufacture up a new rod for it, and then we're also going to refit a new set of seals when we reassemble it. So the majority of our customers do their own disassembly and reassembly when they're doing any sort of cylinder work. In this case, I'm going to do the disassembly here at the workshop. A cylinder this size, we're just going to do it in our workshop press. If we do get any bigger cylinders from our customers that need to be disassembled, I can take them over to my mate's place. They have a hydraulic cylinder teardown bench that I'm allowed to use. But in this case, it's small enough for us to do it here. So we're going to throw it in the press, start pulling it apart. So when you're doing a hydraulic cylinder like this one in a press, you need to make sure you do not put any weight on the barrel or anything attached to the barrel, such as a trunnion mount like the one we have here. If you are to put too much tonnage on top of the press to hold down a job, you could crush the barrel. It has happened before to a few of my customers where they've decided to do a rebuild themselves, which they're fully capable of doing, but they put a little bit too much weight on the press to hold the barrel into the press, and they crushed the barrel and they made it oval. And when they did that, they were then not able to get the piston past where they had pushed the barrel down to hold it, and it resulted in rebarreling the cylinder. When I put a cylinder like this in a machine, I don't put any weight on it. All I want to do is hold it from falling out of the machine. So you can still move this barrel back and forward like that. So there's no weight on it, it's simply just holding it in place. Stop there. That's it. Generally, once you remove the caps off the hydraulic lines, you can just pull the rod straight out. This one seems to be tight along the way, but as you rotate it around, you can then advance the rod a little bit further. So I'm going to assume this one's got a bit of a bend in it. So we've got the rod removed now from the barrel. I've done a quick inspection of the barrel. Everything's really, really good in there. Another way to tell if there's going to be any damage inside a barrel is to look at the wear bands and the piston on the end of the rod. This is all in really good condition. There doesn't seem to be any scoring on the piston. The wear band is undamaged, so the likelihood of there being damage in the barrel is very, very slim. We will do a final inspection on that when we reassemble it, but at this stage, the barrel's in good health, all the parts seem to be good. We're just going to get on to replacing the rod. Righto guys, so that bolt was a lot tighter than expected. I assumed it's probably been rebuilt by someone before and they probably used Loctite. So I put a bit of heat in the end of the bolt and allowed the heat to sink into the bolt and hopefully melt a bit of that Loctite. After I did finally crack it, you could see on the end of the bolt there was some Loctite. I know the OEMs don't Loctite things like cylinder rods, so I'd say this has been resealed once before. There is a little bit of damage on the face of the rod, which is no big deal because it is going in the bin. I do have a little bit of cleanup to do on the piston because it was turning as it was trying to undo. So we'll clean all that up, make up a new rod and put it back together again. So we're aware there are a lot of scratches in that rod. You could definitely send this rod out to get it re-chromed. Those scratches can be filled, re-ground, and then re-chromed back to size. You cannot re-chrome a bent rod. This rod has a pretty nasty bend in it. So if you were to go through the process and try and get someone to straighten that rod, repair the scratches, and then get it chromed again, it is far cheaper and 10 times quicker if I just machine them up a brand new rod. So we're gonna get on to doing that. Righto guys, so we got the eye off. You might have noticed it looks a little bit different to the other eyes that we've shown on our videos, and that is because this is a trunnion cap or a bearing cap style cylinder eye. So the way these actually work is they have 4 bolts that tighten down to the other cap, and inside that cap is a recess and a radius to allow movement with the trunnion ball itself. Trunnion ball is basically a pin with a big ball in the middle. It gets welded into the section on the blade, and then the trunnion cap goes over the ball, and then the other cap gets bolted to that. Because it allows, material to get in there, if you were to add grease, it would then become a grinding paste and they would wear out. So these are always run dry. They also run shims in them, so multiple shims. Now the idea of the shims, when these are brand new and you bolt the two together, the two faces of the caps are not ever going to meet. So they put a shim in there to space the cap away from the trunnion ball itself. You don't want them tight, they just need to be able to move. And as they wear out, you remove the bolts and remove a couple of shims to then tighten them up again.
Where's your pineapple? Hey, where's your pineapple? Where is it? Go find it. What you got? You got it. Good boy.
About to start machining up our new D8 blade lift rod. The piece of material we're going to be using is a piece of 3-inch 38 MNVS6 induction hardened chrome bar. Pretty lucky to get this. There's a pretty big shortage going on, I'm hearing, around the world for material. We had to get this piece sent up from Melbourne, Australia, and that is about 1700 k's away. So the first thing we're going to do, we are going to machine the end that the piston and the bolt gets threaded into. I always get an extra 100 mil of material when I'm doing an internal thread, because the likelihood of having a problem, say break an insert and damage the threads, is quite high, especially with these really coarse thread pitches we need to cut for this bolt. So I'm going to start there. Once all that's done, we'll flip the rod in the machine, cut off the excess material, and we'll start getting it ready. We'll start machining it to fit the trunnion cap. Oh boy. So we've got our rod set up ready for welding. The filler material we're going to be using is Fabcore 1100. That is a Hobart product. It is probably the closest match we're going to get to our Lincoln M71M that we generally use. They're both metal cored wires. They're both backed by metal core gas, which is a 90% argon, 10% CO2 mix. I prefer to use this style of wire because it is a great mechanical and material match for the rods and eyes that we make here in the workshop. All we need to do now, give it a bit of a preheat, then we can start the welding. Oh, they're a bit close. All soft. Righto guys, we've completed all the machining on the rod. We do need to clean up the piston and the gland and change the seals on them, and then we can start reassembling the cylinder. Right there. On the piston we have a hydraulic pressure seal, and underneath that pressure seal there is also an O-ring to keep pressure against the seal while it's moving up inside the barrel. We also have a wear band which keeps it from interfering with the barrel. So on the outside of the gland we have a white backup ring and then an O-ring in front of that. This is the main seal between the gland and the barrel. On the inside of it we have a buffer seal with a backup ring. Above that we have a U-cup seal. The U-cup is your pressure seal. We then have a wear band, so they are a sacrificial piece. The wear band is there to stop the rod impacting the gland and damaging the chrome. And then at the very top of the gland, we have the wiper seal. Wiper seal is designed to wipe dust and debris from the rod so it doesn't go back inside the barrel and contaminate the oil or damage the rod or the gland. You may have noticed there were two valves in the piston. The way the valves work is when the cylinder is on its upstroke going all the way to the top, well, closing the cylinder all the way, the little valves stick up like that. When it finally does hit the end of the barrel, it'll push the valve down and allow pressure back down through it, and that is so it doesn't hammer the top of the cylinder. So it's basically a choke or a cushion, and it's just designed to stop cylinders bottoming out and doing damage. Righto guys, job's done. Thanks for watching. Are we going?
Yes.
Wait, are we going into that?
No.
Right, so as the name says, the blade lift cylinders lift and lower the blade while the machine is in operation.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. So they're ungreased. Oh, no shit. So that is its wear material that stops any dirt wearing. So, yeah. Righto, so, fuck, what was I going to say? So it, fuck. So for the top, so I've got a, so, fuck, where are we going with that? The majority of our cut. Righto guys, so we've fucking squirrels.
Oh. This is way longer than I thought it would be.
She said.
Where'd the other one go?
I lost a cat.
Oh, did it go inside the barrel? Oh, there's the cap underneath the bench there.
God.
No, nothing?
I can't believe it's that fucking tight.
That is so close.
Actually not. Heaps of room. No, I want to pass it off. I don't part off with chopper.
Yeah?
No, chopper's for chopping. Where the fuck did I put that bob? Oh. Stop looking, I found it. Found it. That miso that was sitting up there. Oh, it grew the legs and fucked off.
That one?
That's it over here. Stop looking, I found it.
Oh my god.
Get fucked. Are you serious? Anything else? For fuck's sake.
Okay. Come here. Oi, come here. There you go. Good boy. Go. Slow down. Slow down.